So, welcome to another episode of A Good Story. This is a show about good stories, about good people doing good things. And I'm sitting here with a good person, and her name is Dr. Marsha Gordon. But not only is she a good person, and this is what I like to think about, Marsha, because not only are you a good person, you are a good leader, you are a good listener, which is not always common in a leader, especially a good one. I know you talk about like family and stuff, so I know that you're a good wife. Although I don't know it, but I know it. I just feel it the way that you are. And like,
Thank you.
you are a good boss. You are a good communicator. You are a good connector. You are a good consistent force in an ever-changing economic environment. And you have so many good qualities. You're a good helper.
Oh my God, Jeffrey, you're making me blush.
I was just about done. But most
Yeah.
importantly, you are a good person, and that's why you're here. So welcome to A Good
Well,
Story.
that's the most important thing in life, right? The most important thing is to be a good person, and to be a mensch, and to care about others. So that's the ultimate compliment. So thank you so much, Jeffrey.
I love that you said that. And it's not that, and this is not a knock, but not everybody thinks that way. Do you know why it's important for you to be a good person? Do you know where that comes from?
It
It's not automatic.
no, it's not automatic. It probably comes from my upbringing. I had good parents. I just lost my dad recently,
I'm sorry, Marsha.
and they were very good people. They were hardworking people. They were ethical people. They believed in education. They believed that I could get anywhere. My mother was the original women's liber person, and my dad marched with Martin Luther King, and they did good things while being just good, hardworking people. And and so when you grow up with people that are doing good things and being ethical, that I hope builds the foundation for being a good person. And I've surrounded my life with good people. I've had mentors, I've had friends, and my husband, my family, my daughter's a good person. The most important thing when she tells me about her school reports on the grandchildren, she says, the teachers say that Molly's kind and that Wayne, that all the other kids love Wayne, that he's everyone's best friend. And so they're good people. By the way, they can read and speak Spanish and do amazing things too.
Good for you.
And do, math and the academic stuff. But for my daughter, it's that they're good people, that they're kind people. And so that's the foundation. And I really haven't thought about it this deeply before, Jeffrey, but I think that surrounding yourself with good people and maintaining your morality and your ethics, and without being without being, let's be realistic. Sometimes we're not so good,
Exactly.
and good people can be a little bad also, or can behave a little bad, and
80-20.
that's part of the fun of life too, right?
Well,
So
when I hear, and I do a lot of work for West Point. We talked about it. One of the things that they say when they're getting close to end of life, and you've heard this expression before, they'll say right before they die, "I fought the good fight," and that is part of keeping your mind on a compass. Like the world is a struggle and it's hard and it's going to try to pull you away from those principles, values, and morals. And the good fight is staying in line and doing it regardless,
yeah.
because that is what is important.
Yes.
I just can't imagine. So this is what I always think about, because like when I joined BCW, the Business Council of Westchester, like everybody was like, I mean, this was 6 years ago I joined. Everybody was like, you got to know Marsha.
Well, you were one of our 40 under 40,
40
weren't
under
you?
40 and
Yeah.
21. So thank you for that. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. A rising star. I paid that forward because I nominated a good friend of mine who just won it last year, Mike Batondo.
Oh, yeah. Yep,
So
that's great.
it was like a dream when he found out, and he's one of my best friends. When he found out that I won it, like, dude, that's my dream.
That's great. That's great. Well, you helped. Well, you're a good person. You helped him achieve his dream. That's great.
It was awesome. But what I think about, so you're like the leader of this entity, right? And for how long? How long you been running BCW?
It's 25 years this month, so it's hard to believe. Go. I hate to tell you, it goes like that. It's really quick.
But when you were a kid, were you a boss? Were you a leader? Were you
Oh,
telling people
not
like,
at all. Not completely the opposite person. I was very, very. I had a terrible stutter. I was very shy. I would hide behind my mother's skirts, I think, when I was a child.
the poodle skirts?
Yeah, if I was, no, my mom didn't wear poodle skirts, definitely not.
That's what I always
I'll
think
say
about.
my mother's pants better. And no, it was definitely not. And I struggled in terms of finding my career path. And so it took a while, but that this person is unrecognizable to who I was growing up, except for probably being a good person.
That's
You
amazing
know,
to me.
yeah.
That really is amazing. The stutter, how did you, did you go to a coach?
No,
You just taught yourself?
just kind of taught myself.
I know a lot of people with that, and it's really, it's profound to conquer that. And especially now you're on a podcast and you're just talking to me. It's like, that's brilliant.
Once in a
That's why you're a good story. That's amazing to me.
once in a while it comes out. But
Sure.
yeah.
Of course. I have a weird thing that I do. Like sometimes if I try to say common courtesy, I'll say Carmen Codicy. So I have a weird thing that my brain does.
Yeah.
But I don't, I used to be hard on myself. Though, I'm sorry. So one of the things I wanted to ask you was because you were talking about your parents. It sounds like they were extremely proactive, and that's what you have to be. Like I try to connect things, and you tell me if I'm wrong. You are a very proactive leader. You don't wait for things to happen. You are running. Not, I don't want to say running, but if it's running, if that's the right word, let me know. But you are like people have come to you with questions, business owners, business people, and you have to navigate that world. And sometimes you don't even know, but it's being proactive. Like, how do you go about that? People are always contacting the council, right?
Yes, people are always contacting the council. I kind of don't have patience for people that have to think things out over and over and over again. I can think of a friend I had so many years ago, and she wasn't sure to whether to apply for a job. And I just said to her, just put in your application,
Yeah.
just do it. And most places I've gone professionally, it's because I just took a chance and applied, and I recommend that people do that with some reality, but people can find so many excuses
Mm-hmm.
for not taking action, and and I'm a get it done kind of person. I'm also balanced by a wonderful team who sometimes slow me down and say, "Wait a minute, Marsha." John Ravitz, who leads the business council with me, he's let's think this out. Let's make sure things are in order and we have all of the correct information. So I think that part of being a good person is having people around you who are going to not always say, "Okay, you're right,"
Yeah.
that are going to question and help you and point things out to you. So
It's so obvious that you, and that's again, that's a good leader in you. That's a good person because I sort of believe that you can only be as good as the lowest person in your staff, right? So like you can't excel. You have, I don't even know who would be the lowest in your staff.
yeah,
Everybody
everyone's
is
great. Yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
That's that is definitely a credit to you, but it also, it establishes, I think, your future because when you have a good team, you have consistency,
Yes.
you know where it's going, people have an expectation. Like when I come in to your office, to your events, there's an expectation. I know I'm going to get value out of it. I know I'm going to get treated well. That keeps me coming back. So your retention, because I think that's important in a business too. I don't know if people realize that.
Yes.
How do you retain members? How do you all do it?
Well, we do. Look, we're a business like anyone else is a business. We just happen to be a not-for-profit business,
That's right.
and we're a business organization, and so we have to work at that. We have to provide value. We have to know what somebody is trying to achieve, what someone's goals are when they join the BCW. We have, Linda and Pam and all of us are there to try to, make those connections, give people information, represent them legislatively, do all of the things that we do, understand the community and help them understand the community, welcome people in. And that's what we try to do. We do measure retention. We have a very good retention rate for a trade organization, membership organization. But people do come and they do. There's a cycle sometimes also.
Mm-hmm.
Just spoke to a long-term member of ours, and his business is being sold, and so that's part of it also. But we also find that we keep up those relationships. I'm someone that believes so strongly in keeping relationships going. And it could be just a hello, or you're going on this trip, or how are things going? Haven't seen you for a while. Or when people leave, just checking in on
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
and keeping up those relationships. And it's not that we do that so that people will stay. We do that because we care. And we care about people, and we care about businesses, and we care about their employees, and we care about the economy.
And
So,
you have to do all that without picking sides, without, because you said representing legislatively, but a banker is going to have a different concept of what they want changed legislatively than a nonprofit. Then, so you have to balance all of these
yeah,
things.
we don't look at the politics of it. We look at the policy of it. And so we look at things that are pro business and that are going to help businesses grow. And we're not asked to come in on everybody's legislative issue.
Hmm.
But we try to put in our legislative agenda, which was just released yesterday, by the way, and that John Ravitz leads again. We put in issues that are good for the entire business community.
That's great.
And does everybody agree with us all the time? No,
That's impossible
that's
anyway.
impossible. But I think we stick to our mission, and that's important.
It's not just you, but I will tell you that me joining BCW, I've been a part of. I don't want to say the ones that I didn't like, but there are a lot of networking and places
Yeah.
to share businesses and stuff like that, right? And I've been in business for 18 years. The ones that I love the most are you.
Oh, thank
My
you.
my membership will never. I actually, you guys reminded me that I didn't pay, and it's not because I didn't want to. I just forgot.
It's part of our renewal
And as soon as you guys
process.
were like,
Yes.
"Hey, this is," I paid right away. It wasn't even a thought. The value, and I'm not blowing smoke here, Marsha. I wouldn't just say this if it wasn't true. Um, the value. So many times, I feel like I'm educating myself because I'll come listen to a panel discussion, and I don't care how much the ticket is. Like I'll pay it because what I get out of it. So then, if I only went for value, it's worth the cost of the ticket. But then I meet people. I reconnect with folks like you and different people, and then you learn something, and somebody's like, "Oh, hey, by the way, I have this going on,"
Exactly.
and it's that relationship, and
Exactly.
it's not. I think the mistake, and let me know if you feel this way, that people make when joining things like this is they expect it to be transactional.
We're not transactional.
It can't be
There are
that
there
way.
are other groups that are transactional, and they're great for people that are looking for that. We are relationship based, and we believe that sometimes someone walks in and there happens to be someone there, and they there's a match right away.
Hmm.
But that's not what we're about, because most of our members are not transactional. I mean, people come to you to do, outstanding, incredible video production, the most professional. That's not a transaction, that's a relationship. You're spending months with these people. You're developing and growing that relationship at Good For You Productions, and that's it's not transactional.
And that's what I was telling you yesterday on your podcast. Is like with me, like I can't be transactional in a 9 month relationship. That's
Hmm.
not.
That's right.
We
That's
get
right.
really close to each other. We share personal things. We cry and laugh together. I don't know if that ends up being transactional. That's going to be
Yeah,
kind
not
of
gonna
sad.
work. Yeah, not yes, yes, yes.
25 years, Marsha. That means 9/11, 2001,
Yep, yep.
right?
9/11 happened. Yes, and interestingly, talk about relationships. There are two people who were on the board then, and we were on Mamaroneck Avenue, and we used to meet at the then county tourism office across the street. And 9/11 happened, and every 9/11, Art and Greg and I connect.
That's sweet.
We connect. They were wonderful board members, Greg Chartier and Art Masarki. And we check in. How's your family? How are you? We'll never forget that day together, and we'll always love each other. Yeah.
So, I mean, as a leader, you've gone through 9/11, the housing crash. What was that, 2008?
Yeah, 2008. Yes, that's tough. That was tough. COVID.
COVID.
So COVID, I think, was, and I can't really, well, here we are. It's exactly 6 years, right?
Yeah.
Today, kind of.
Pretty much. Yeah. Wow. That's right.
And
March.
and I think that the Business Council of Westchester provided so much to our members during that time. Were you a member then? Were you a member yet? Might
I
not
was
have
like,
been.
I was like brand new.
You were
I was
brand
like just
new.
joining. Yeah.
And so we embraced the technology, and the team. Who knew Zoom then?
You know, I was a member because my award ceremony was remote.
Yes, it was remote. Yes. And we embraced technology. I'll never forget the first time that we had an event and we put people into separate breakout rooms. It felt like Bewitched, when
Oh
you
my
kind of
God,
disappeared
yeah.
and then reappeared somewhere else,
Yeah.
And and we were new at doing that. We doubled the number of quote events that we had because we felt that our job then was to keep people engaged, to share how we were feeling a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and to give people opportunities for their businesses to shine, and to provide information.
Yeah.
So this is the perfect example that I was talking about before. We would get in information from different sources, and then who
You have
could
to like
be
curate that
open.
information. Yeah.
We
How
had
do
to
you,
curate. Like I was like, okay, let's get this out, and John would say, let's wait a minute. But very quickly, we were the ones that people turned to. I will tell you that I got a call early on. I can't say who it was, from a major corporation at 10 o'clock at night, that they had just had their first case of COVID and identified, and they did not know what to do. This was at the very early stages. And I was able to get at 10 at night Dr. Shalita Amler, the Commissioner of Health of Westchester County, on the phone with this major corporation. And she was able to walk them through what are the steps they need to take and what do they need to do. And so I think that, especially at that time, providing the information resource, the necessity to at least get their hair done and their makeup on in the morning, or whatever.
right. Like try to find some normalcy.
Try to find some normalcy
Yeah.
through those Zooms that we had in every way. Letting people shine was very, very special. It was very special.
Because you know what allowed us to do when you connected us, because I don't think was Connect at noon around at that point?
That was,
It's sort of invented afterwards?
I think it was an outgrowth of that. Yeah.
Yeah, but so what happened even for me is when you would share time on those Zooms with other business owners, you sort of learn what they're doing, and then creatively you start to come up. Like we started doing, I basically got shut down, but through going through these different networks, and I don't know if it was through yours exactly, but I ended up meeting like a funeral home director, and we had to do remote funerals because you couldn't have more than 6 people.
Yeah.
So that became like a side hustle for the business.
Wow.
That's what we were
very
doing to stay
interesting.
alive. I was in cemeteries from 100 feet away filming a funeral.
That's very interesting, actually. That's a good story. I'll tell this. That's a good story because that shows your resiliency and your ability at your company, Jeffrey, to pivot and to do what you need to do. And you talk about when you were talking about my parents, you were saying, well, they were very proactive and they were very this. They didn't know the word. They were just people who did what they had to do,
Right.
and my mother went into business. My father went back to school and then joined the IRS, and they were just doing what needed to be done because times were changing back then.
Yeah.
And so now we say things like we're being proactive, and people just did it then because that's what life was. And so It's very interesting.
I love that you have a strong mom. Is March Women's Month?
I think so. Yes.
I know Sunday is like International Women's Day or National Women's
Hmm.
Day. I'm glad that you're here as a woman. I know there's like a Westchester Women's Summit
Yeah.
coming up
Yeah.
in next
Yeah.
week.
Rose.
So
Rose Kappa. Yep. Yep.
um,
Returno. Yep.
I like talking about these things because I feel unique in my role models. Powerful people are
Hmm.
women, like
Hmm.
in my family. So I talk about this a lot, but I think it's important, and
And who
especially
are those women?
my mother is number one.
Hmm.
College educated, worked for Pepsi for 40 years.
Wow.
Her sister, my Aunt Marianne, college educated, IBM, IT, 40 years. My Aunt Liz, her sister, college doctor, just retired a few years ago. And then also on my dad's side, his two sisters,
Fabulous.
yeah, both are in finance.
Were you the adored little prince?
Yeah, I
Yes,
kind of
you were.
was.
I could see that. I kind of just figured that out.
Well, I
Yes.
had a balance, right? So I talk about all this stuff. So this is actually, oh, if I could talk about myself just for a second, because this is
Please, this
important.
is a conversation.
This is actually
You,
critical in
you're a
who
good.
I am.
You're a good person too. Now I know why.
I appreciate it. Yeah. No, I have women represented in my life. Like when we've looked back, like we've been talking about this in society, and people are like, oh, women make less and they don't get, and they don't get. It's been so weird. I'm not saying none of it's true. I'm just saying for me, like, I'm like, that wasn't what I saw.
Hmm.
Like, it's just weird for me to hear people talk about that because I had powerful, successful women who were the main income. They were the providers of the family. No joke. That was real. But being the youngest, not only I was the youngest of five,
Hmm.
I was the youngest in my family. So I was like the youngest cousin.
Hmm.
So now
Oh
I'm
yes.
Italian and Polish, big family.
Yeah.
So there might have been 50, 60 cousins, and I'm the youngest. So what happens is you're adored by the aunts and uncles, but you're really picked on by the cousins
Hmm.
because of the jealousy factor, right? So actually, it's so important. Like I was telling you why storytelling is so important for me and to share this stuff, but it's actually rooted in, as a kid, I was an observer and I watched because, I mean, this is dramatic, but I wasn't allowed to talk because I was the youngest. So just
Hmm.
people like took authority over me. And I always felt like my voice was suppressed.
Hmm.
And this is why now, when I tell stories, when I'm really invested with somebody, some of that is sourced. That's why I talk to you about like your childhood, because I know some of the reason why I want to tell other people's story is because I always felt like I had a story that wasn't able to be shared or nobody listened to me, didn't let me finish. I went to therapy for this. I'm doing much better with all that now. But I used to feel like nobody listens to me. So I kind of formed the company also because you can't interrupt me when you're watching a video.
Hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
Yep. I
I
love
just
it.
I
I
just
love it.
also wanted to share that with you. But so as a woman, I also think it's important because I realized even in this podcast, Hillary Millman,
Hmm.
Jan Fisher, Carol Voicy, Sharice Jarvis Hill, Marsha Gordon, you are all successful, influential, maybe powerful is too strong, but you're also powerful, influential women. And that's, you're
Hmm.
in my life
Yeah.
and you're some of the closest relationships
Well,
that I
that's
have.
great.
So this is like, it's
I
important
love
for me
that.
to hear
I love
that.
that. I love that.
Is it important for you? Because your staff, I mean, I know you have John Rabbits and there's like
Honestly,
Andrew Castellano that's kind
so,
of in
but
there, but
honestly, I've never focused on the fact that I was a woman, and many people have asked me, have asked me, what has it been like? Was it difficult for you to be in a kind of a man's world? And sometimes but I never really focused on it. I really just kept. I've had wonderful men in my life,
see, that's important too. Yeah.
and I've had wonderful mentors and board members and friends, and I've really been a woman who is equal opportunity to men and women, and never really focused on being a woman business leader. And did I feel left out? Maybe I was, and maybe at times, I felt left out of. I wasn't a golfer, for example, but
Right, right.
that was my choice. I could have if I wanted to, um, but um, but I never felt that it was because I was a woman, and I really embraced my femininity and my leadership, but also have many, many, many male friends and mentors, and as well as women friends, but and mentors and people that I admire. So To me, it's not a man or a
Yeah.
male female thing.
I hope, that's, I guess that's my hope for the future, that people would have an experience like me and you, because
Yeah.
we didn't really view it that way because we didn't need to.
Right.
And it's a shame if other people need to. And I hope that
Yeah.
eliminates itself. Um, sometimes we talk about, I don't really love the question, like, what's going on this year? What's in store for you? What's in future? But just immediate, you think about, I know me and you saw each other at a Latimer event. We're talking about
Hmm.
tariffs, and we still have to navigate kind of, I mean, I'm not going to lie about it. I know, well, somebody just fell next door.
Yeah, I think so. I hope they're okay.
Uh, do people call you and ask you about why are the prices so high? I mean, we talk about that a little bit, and everybody feels it. But is that
Yeah.
something that gets put on you in any way?
No, no, it doesn't get put on me. What does get asked is how can we all navigate this uncertain time?
Yeah.
And I think that's our job. We don't have the answers. No, nobody has the answers. And but how do we navigate this together? Whether it's what's happening now with global conditions and national and state, at every level, or it's what's happened during COVID or what's happened during downtimes. These are uncertain times.
Here's
Let's
another one,
let's
right?
be let's be honest. We're
Yeah.
kind of in it right now. And that doesn't exclude the Business Council of Westchester, by the way, because we have members that are changing their businesses, that are changing their business models. People are coming, people are going. We need to reach out. But these are uncertain and sometimes frightening times. And I think that part of it is we try to help people figure out what the next step is for them, if that's appropriate, if people reach out to us. But we know that we're not the problem solver for these for these external forces
Yeah.
that are affecting us sitting here in Peekskill, New York, or Rybrook, or White Plains, or the Hudson Valley.
But you are everywhere. I mean, that's the thing. You keep showing up. So I think it's great to have a leader in the community
Well,
that's
99%.
present.
John Ravitz tells me 99% is showing up, but it's showing up because the Business Council of Westchester needs to have a presence. We have a presence across from small businesses to major corporations to municipalities. We need to think about what's next. As we've taken the lead in artificial intelligence.
I was going to talk about that. Yeah.
Google.org found us, and we are educating 50 small
I
businesses
think
as
that
we
is so cool.
speak
Yep.
on how to use AI, and we continue to do that. We have a Westchester Innovation Network where it's now in its fourth year. We're going to celebrate our 100th match this year, where we've brought in innovators to Westchester and linked them to companies here to test their products and services.
Wow.
We've had some incredible successes there, and we're doing so much. We represent the development community, our Clean Energy Action Coalition. That just started last
What is
year.
that? I don't know about
Well,
this.
that's a group of members that are involved with renewable energy. And energy is a real issue now with the, I'll say it here, rather unfortunate closing of Indian Point many years ago.
My
We are
electric bill is
all,
over
yeah,
$2,000
well,
this month.
that's right. Yeah, that's it. And John Ravitz was actually quoted in the Post yesterday and said, we said this would happen
Yeah.
15 years ago. And but with that being said, we do know that the future is renewable energy. And so we have started this Clean Energy Action Coalition, which is led by Ron Kamen. And we have over 125 businesses now who are working in one way or another on the renewable energy frontier. And we have our energy conference coming up in April, and so we're very heavily engaged in energy. So we need to, and sustainability. So we really need to think about what the future is and what's coming next, and be ahead of the curve, and be strategic, and make this all weave it all together.
And I think in Westchester, you have like, that's why Westchester's cool, because you have the ability to do that.
Excuse me, I'm taking a sip.
Go
Oh,
do your water thing. That's right there. I'm gonna filibuster here on my question, I guess. Um,
I'm okay.
we have the diverse communities. You have every type of job, industry. We're close to New York City. We're close to importing, export, like entertainment.
Yes.
It's still all here. So Westchester is a cool little playground that's maybe a microcosm for other things, right? So I love that you're doing stuff and that you're thinking that way. That's awesome.
Well, Westchester is a wonderful place, we say, to live and to work and to play. And we're very fortunate. You know, I spent 25 years in Dutchess County, and I love Dutchess enormously. Um, but they were a one horse town for years, right? It was IBM.
Yeah.
IBM brought me up to Dutchess County from Brooklyn, New York, you know, kicking and screaming. And when IBM started to downsize in the 90s, it was a shock. It was a shock to that economy. And I think Westchester also, you know, IBM's headquarters are in Westchester, but Westchester was always a diverse business community, diverse communities and a diverse business community. And so never felt the shock waves of one business or one sector being down, you know, and others being up. You know, there was always some balance there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's wonderful about Westchester.
Yeah, I love it. We figured out, like, even you know, you watch, because I've had this business here in Peekskill now for almost 20 years, and you watch even how Peekskill has gone through some changes. You look how
Yeah.
Westchester's gone through all these changes.
I was
A lot
so
of building.
proud. I was so proud to, when Peekskill got their DRI, I co-chaired the Governor's Regional Economic Development Council. And I was really proud to work with the then mayor on the local planning committee, where we figured out what should be done. And just last week, I saw one of the things that we said was there should be better marketing and a new logo. And there,
Oh, they
and
needed that so
there
bad.
it was. And by the way, New Rochelle got more money for the link that we started out during that time. Ossining just broke ground last week. They also got a DRI
Mm-hmm.
for their multimodal transportation hub. So sometimes, you know, you talk about being proactive and getting things done, but these are things that have been years in the making.
I think Peekskill got awarded in 2020 or
Yeah,
21 or something. So
something
it
like
takes a
that.
long time.
Yes,
Right?
yeah.
Ossining, I think, was before that.
Yeah, I think Ossining,
Were they after?
I think maybe after,
Okay,
but
yeah. But no, it takes time, right?
it takes time to get these things done. You know, we work with governments, and that goes through a process, as it should, and that's what's so important.
Peekskill is a really wonderful waterfront that is just
Yes.
hidden potential. So it's going to get there. It's great as is, but it can be so much better
Yeah,
and more.
and it's on the way.
And it's on the way.
It's on the way.
That's a great thing to say. Yeah, you were talking about like the one-stop shop. My grandparents lived up in Saratoga, and forever the only thing in Saratoga was the racetrack. And now if
Yes.
you go up there now,
Oh, it's amazing.
holy cow, they built that
Yes.
up. So it's great. I'm looking forward to retiring up there one day if I can still afford it. I guess I want to end on just talking about members a little bit too. What is the best way that you want them to use a membership? Because for me, it's clear, and I hope anybody who understands what you do, it's so if you think you should have a membership, you should. It's so valuable. But once they have a membership, what's the best way to use it?
So the best way is to get engaged, get involved. We always give somebody an ambassador to work with. Make sure that the team knows what you're doing, and to give back. You know, to give back to others, because when you do that, one, you're a good person, which is what this podcast is about.
Mm-hmm.
But it also, you know, people. That's how it works. What can I do for you? You know, what is that contact that I can make for you? And that just happens all of the time. Had an interesting story. The Westchester Children's Museum is a member. I love the Westchester Children's Museum. And it took a long time in the making. And the last exec was Tom Sullivan, and he won the Rising Stars.
We were just about to make a video, and then he went to California.
Yeah, well, and then when the new person came, of course, we reached out,
Mm-hmm.
and he said to me, you know, I got this job because of the Business Council of Westchester. And I
Wow.
said, what do you mean? And he said, I was at some reception. It was outside your office on the terrace. And as you know, I have that terrace outside my office.
Yeah.
And we had our Rising Stars nominee reception there. You didn't experience it because when you were there, it was during COVID. And I think that the person that got that job, and I wish I remembered his name right now because he is the exec of the Westchester Children's Museum, which everyone should go to if they're a
I
child or
bring my
not.
kid there. It's
Yeah,
so
it's
like
great.
I
It's
have to
great.
drag my son out of there.
Yeah, I know. I know. What's his favorite thing? Does he like the thing where they do the kerchiefs and they
The
fly up?
tissues. Yeah, how did you know that? He just
Because,
spends all
yeah,
day there.
I know because my grandchildren love that also. They love that.
I want to make one at home. All you gotta do is get a
I
box
kind
fan.
of like it myself, and
That's what people don't realize about children's
yeah,
museums. The adults spend a lot of time playing.
yeah, yeah. Playing is a good thing, but he said at that, and I'm thinking I don't remember this person's name. Well, he had applied, and he did not get selected that year. By the way, he's still under 40, so I told him to reapply. But he met Tom,
Mm.
and they became friends. And so when Tom was leaving, he called him and he said, "You should apply." And so there we are. By the way, we have 155 not-for-profits as members,
Wow.
and we always consider not-for-profits part of the business community, part of the economic landscape. We always have, and so that's those stories, and many others. Somebody, Melissa Andrew from Dorf
Know her
Nelson
very well.
and
She's awesome.
Zadora met Richard Klein at one of our events, and he became a partner. You know, we have someone from our Westchester Innovation Network that has some kind of invention that, believe it or not, can help excavating companies in states. So Stacy Tompkins from Tompkins Excavating is going to try it out and give feedback. And so all of these things create a Westchester where people are working together. We have our Iona students from the Westchester Innovation Network who work with municipalities, and they're beginning next week with Sleepy Hollow to bring innovative ideas. And so there's just so much happening at the Business Council, and people should just embrace even the things that they don't think may be related to them once in a while, to dip your toes into something new and something outside of your normal world is important too. So we're really proud of the success stories that we hear, of the relationships built. We are made up of 1,100 businesses and
Wow.
hundreds of tens of thousands of really good people, and I think that's what makes Westchester special.
I will tell you, my investment has paid off because and listen, this is a big disclaimer. Results may vary.
Hmm.
Um, you all have led to multiple contracts. I mean, I really haven't told you how you all have helped me out. And like, again, I'm not
Happy
here to
to hear
blow
that.
smoke. Maybe I'll tell you offline so I could really lay
Yeah.
into it. But just connectors, like I said, and it's not like you're saying, "Hey, you should work with this person." It's just like, "Hey, you were talking about this. You talk about this. Why don't you guys talk?"
Yeah.
And a lot of times because you've listened to enough preliminary conversations, I think, to know how to connect people, and your introductions have really been fruitful. So,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you. It's been awesome.
Thank you.
So I guess that's really it, Marsha. I am so grateful
Well,
that you came here. This is, it means you don't know how much it means to me.
well, I have to say, whenever I see you, Jeffrey, at events, the other day at Congressman Latimer's event, I said, "Come over here, sit with me," because I wanted to talk to you, and I wanted to know what was happening in your life and your business and why you were there and why you were interested, and you have become so engaged in the community, and you're a leader, and that's and I love to see people take what they have and go to those next steps. And so thank you for all you're doing, including this podcast. It's my honor to be here. It's been a while since I've been in this really cool building. I love this building.
I don't
The
tell
Hat
people enough that I'm in the
Factory.
Hat Factory in
It's
Peekskill.
fabulous. It's fabulous. And I won't say who they are, but I know you have wonderful clients. many of whom are BCW members, and I know you really do good things for them. And so I thank you. I thank you for that, and thank you for the opportunity to tell my story today.
And your
And
stories.
by the way,
Yeah.
your story will be out in a few weeks
Oh, I'm
at
so
the
excited for it.
BCW. So we look forward to that.
As soon as I left, I'm like, there's so much more that I want to say,
I
and there's so
know.
much more,
I
and
know.
even here, it's like, God, there's so much more that I want to unpack, and I want to. There's nothing. My mother always told every birthday, she says, "Don't get me anything. The most important thing to me is time." So, like, this is the you can't get this time back. You know, if you gave me money, somehow we can make it back the other way around. This is it. Like, this is everything to me. So it is
See,
important.
I'm not as good as your mother. I want a present. I like my presents. I'm sorry.
Since the day she's always been that way. She's just unique.
She
She told
sounds
my
like
father not to get an engagement ring, and every birthday he gets her new jewelry, and she just puts it in a box. She doesn't even wear it for 50 years. They're going on 50 years almost. Oh
wow.
my good. But such both of them are great moral compasses for me. It's my faith, it's my parents, it's my upbringing, it's experiences, positive ones, like meeting people who are like, oh, I want to be more like that, or just reaffirm, hey, I'm on the right track because I'm saying something and somebody nods with me and I'm like, okay, cool. Like we must be sharing something. We're in agreement with something, so it must be something good. We talked about a lot today. I think I covered everything I wanted to. And again, anybody listening to this, you have to know if you are invited on here, there's only like two prerequisites. I have to consider you a good friend, and I'm not going to tell you what we're going to talk about before you
That's
arrive.
that, and
And
I felt very comfortable with you. I had a lot of trust in you. So that's
thank you so
talks
much.
also about being a good person. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, that is Dr. Marsha Gordon. She is are you CEO or executive?
President and CEO. Yeah.
President and CEO of the Business Council of Westchester. This was not an advertisement, but I'm telling you now, there are not a lot of memberships that I pay, and this is one that it's just automatic. It's done so much for me. And if you are starting a business, if you have a business, if you're revitalizing your business, if you're looking to learn new things about how to change your business over time, it's really a great place to start. People like Linda Tyler have been so good to me. Marsha's has been so good to me. They respond quickly, which I think is limited. If you want to keep clients or get clients, sometimes if you just respond fast, that's really helpful. Nobody wants to be left hanging for a week or multiple days. And that's something that is the culture of the Business Council of Westchester. So thank you for the time and space today, Marsha.
And
Thank you so much.
thank you for the honor of being on your show, Jeffrey.
You're the best. Thanks.